one can find you, the source of all that is. No one can see your face.
Oh,
This is the timeless one. This is amazing grace. Shiva, Shiva, Shambho. Shiva, Shiva, Shambho. Mahadeva, Shambho. Shiva, Shiva, Shambho. Mahadeva, Shambho. Mahadeva, Shambho. Mahadeva, Shambho. Nothing to hold on to, nowhere to go, no burdens to carry anymore, no concepts to marry. This life is for you, only for true. This life is for you, beloved, beloved. So where would I go now? When you showed me I'm motionless, and what could be rejected here in this vast emptiness? This life is for you, only for true. This life is for you, beloved, beloved. Here I am, like dust under your feet, the most sacred space of all. Such a sweet discovery to see the walls of illusions fall. 'Cause I cannot die, I cannot die, yes, I cannot die, beloved, most beloved. This life is for you, only for you. This I is truth, beloved, beloved, most beloved.
Someone trying to get to the satsang. That's why I had to take that call. Namaste everyone. A very warm welcome to satsang today. Sadhguru Shri Muji Ji ki Jai. Thank you all so much. Thank you for joining in. If you're in the hangout, the way to ask questions is to unmute your mic and to start speaking. And on YouTube chat, you can post your question over there and we will look at them. Someone here said that, Father, I think I'll go mad. So I said, we'll go.
Father, can I come up?
You can come, my dear.
Father, yesterday in the evening, um, there was this feeling of jealousy that came up, and it was witnessed beautifully. And First, it was witnessed, but first there was this feeling that, oh, that's such a bad feeling. It shouldn't come. And then I remembered your pointing that don't resist anything. So I was able to completely witness it, and it came and it went. I didn't feel jealous. It just came and it went. And then it was so beautiful, Father. I was feeling so that wow, this is so beautiful. And then I witnessed this person saying that this wow, this is so beautiful, because that's not me either. So it was so beautiful. And then, Father, in the night, I had a dream. I had a dream that I was squabbling with somebody. There was some irritation in some conversation with the dream. And then in the dream, I'm saying that let's see if this witnessing of the emotion happens in the dream. And this is happening in the dream. And so the irritation came, and I witnessed it, Father. And the irritation came and the irritation went, and I was just witnessing it. And it was so beautiful. So I had the same experience in the dream and in the waking state. But I'm really confused. Can you explain that? Like, is it the same thing, the dream state and the waking state? And how did I have the same? Um, Obviously, the me who was witnessing it in the dream state and the waking state was the same me, right, Father?
Yes. Yes, there is only one witnessing, and there is only one being also. So the being which is present in the waking state or the dream state is also the same, isn't it? It is only that the label is different. It is only that I am then gets associated with some other label. But the being is the same. Because you said I was in the dream. I am in the waking state. So truly we cannot even say that this is waking state and that was dream state. How do we know this? Only it seems like it. Yesterday, after a bit of a break of 2 days, I put on the yoga thing again. And something very nice was there in the yoga thing. I was doing one difficult, at least difficult for me, posture. And the instructor said, she said, notice which emotion is coming along for the ride, which I felt it was very beautiful. You see, she didn't say, what are you feeling? She said, notice which emotion is coming along for the ride. You see, and this is what, this is the same thing, what we say, that we are witnessing what is arising. You see, we are witnessing what is arising, the appearance of that and the disappearance of that. The one that calls it me or mine is the trickster, is the mind, is the ego. So I felt it's very beautiful to just see, okay, what is coming along for the ride. Very often also in satsang we can say, I'm so frustrated, I'm not understanding, I'm so. Instead, if you can just see, okay, this feeling of frustration is coming along for the ride. This feeling of joy is coming along for the ride. Then you can see that all of these are just risings, they're just appearances. And then we do not attach to them. The false identity does not get perpetuated because we don't say that it is me or mine. So just like this, very beautifully, she says, I saw this in the waking state and I saw it in the dream state. That I could just witness all of this. Jealousy came, jealousy went. Very often also in the Sangha, it can be spiritual jealousy. I'm okay. We were saying the other day, isn't it? I'm okay if I don't get it as long as nobody else also gets it. And if anyone else is proclaiming, we're saying no. Not yet. Just the other day I was talking to you outside the satsang. Why don't you tell Ananta all that which you were telling me? So this not only is it that what's in it for me, it's also me first. And me alone, preferably. Me be the only one. These are the mantras of the ego. And once you see that this me is just make believe, is just imagination, it has no tangible existence, not even intangible existence, then where does all this fall on? A feeling comes, anger comes, desire comes, jealousy comes, rage comes. But if it doesn't have a place to sit on, you don't give it the chair of me, then where will it go? Yeah.
So, Father, who is who's remembering the story that happened yesterday and then happened in the dream, and where am I?
This is very good. So, because the reliance so far has been that it is me as a person who has the faculty of memory, now that I see that me is not there, then who's even remembering that which is here? What is that which is here? Is your own being, is consciousness. All belongs to this one. In the phenomenal appearance, all belongs to this one. Because this I am, this Om, this primordial vibration is the root phenomena. This is what we call, when this wakes up, we say waking state. And when this goes to sleep, we say sleep state. So all then belongs to this one, your own being. Because even memory is not there in sleep state. It is the one doer, the one experiencer of all that is phenomenal. It is the projector and the screen and the movie and the characters and the light. All that is phenomenal, it is that.
So bizarre, Father. It's bizarre.
It's a bit radical, yes. Actually, the idea of me is bizarre. To be able to say that God is everywhere and then say, yet there is a me which is separate from God, that is what is bizarre. But because our conditioning has been so much that I am this individual, I reside in this body, this is my life, these are my relationships, these are my thoughts, my feelings. You see, so now that we are getting deconditioned from all of this, we see that all that is God, that which we've been saying since we were children. God is everywhere, there is one God, that is becoming our living experience now. So for a while it can seem like this is too strange, too strange, too strange. Then when this becomes natural, then what the mind is saying seems very strange. It is just this voice which is communicating to something which doesn't exist. What could be stranger than that? And the voice itself has no owner. There is no individual that controls the voice of the ego, and it is not talking to an individual. And yet our whole life goes in just following the sounds, following these energy vibrations.
But
That is the most bizarre.
there is
Huh?
no there is no individual.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So this voice claiming to be the individual's voice talking to an individual itself is the most bizarre thing. Because we never question who's speaking, and who are you speaking to. And now we see there is no individual. Then what do we see? That does God need this energy of thoughts to run our life, to run its life?
So it is consciousness speaking, Father. Where is this voice coming from?
Yes, yes. It's part of the play of consciousness. It's part of the Leela of consciousness. All there is consciousness. All that we can say exists is consciousness.
There is no relationship between the content of the appearance and the act of the witnessing itself. They are totally they're not connected anywhere.
The content of the appearance and awareness itself. What is the correlation?
Yes, they absolutely understand.
Except that they're not unrelated in that way, because awareness is all there is. So consciousness is made up of awareness. Just like ice is made up of water but feels more solid, isn't it? So just like this, the dynamic aspect, as Guruji says, is consciousness. So everything is made up of this awareness itself. So in that way, all that arises is awareness. Even the content is awareness alone. So we can say it is arising in awareness, or we can say it is awareness itself in a modulated form called the appearance, or we can say that awareness first becomes ice, water becomes ice, and then someone makes a ice sculpture out of this ice. But still awareness only, still water. So it is one. In that way, it is one. Another meaning for the question could be that based on whether I've realized that I am this awareness, should now the content start dancing differently? That is another way in which this question is asked. That now that I've seen that I am this awareness itself, shouldn't my life become better or something like this? In that, again, there is this personal concern for the content of life. That means this has to dissolve.
Then, if it were fully seen, then you would not bother about what's playing out.
Once you were to see that you're just the watcher, you're an audience in the movie hall, then it's just a movie going on. It's not touching me really. And my wife, when I go for a movie, she can cry in every movie. She has actually cried in every movie. In fact, the kids make fun of her and say this movie also ticked. So then what do we do? When she's sitting over there crying next to us, she says, it's a movie. They're actors. They're being paid for this, playing this role. You see, you have to remind her that it's a movie. So this is seen that it's only a movie, then it loses the bite. Then it loses the concern, oh, will it have a great ending, or will it have a spectacular ending or a sad ending? It's a story of my life. These are my relationships, my attachments. This is happening to me. There's also the story of one who got so much into the character of the play that he actually stabbed the other character on the theater stage. It gets so involved in the story. This potential is there.
Also, the person who played Tukaram, yes. He totally dissolved into Tukaram.
That's a much better Much better than stabbing.
Also, if that is really the case, then why there are many awakened beings like Sai Baba who helped humanity in many miraculous ways after realization of the self? They did things that were not possible in the realm of physical limitations, in the realm of general physical laws
Yes,
and limitations. They did so many miraculous things in order to help us. Why is it so? If they have really seen that from the eyes of God everything is in perfection,
yes.
then why did they help us?
Very good question. Also, that I refer to what Bhagwan said when someone came and said that, can you heal your body? How can you help me with this? What he would say is that there is no possibility of any such intent here. He said there is no possibility of any such intent here because I see I'm not the doer at all. There is no doer here. But he said there is a presence here. You call it consciousness, you call it Sadguru. This presence is the supremely intelligent being. And the presence of this one, unassociated presence of this one, what we know as miracles, do happen. Only because we don't emphasize so much. Only because we don't emphasize so much on these things here because it becomes part of the sideshow. But I truly believe that in the presence of the unassociated being, there must be miracles. It is not possible that they are not. But there is no one intending, oh, miracle. I don't feel that a true sage, a true master would ever say that I have this intent to fix this, intent to solve this or something. So much healing happened in the presence of Jesus also. And he said it's your own faith, it's your own love, it's your own devotion, which is the catalyst for these extraordinary things like you said. So in the presence of this being which is unassociated, I'm sure in this phenomenal play also a lot of these things can happen. But I don't want to make that so much of the focus because then it becomes personal again. I came to Satsang and this happened, something got healed, something. It's okay. It's okay. We don't need to talk about any of that. The greatest miracle, and should be the simplest miracle possible, is to discover that I have never been this idea that I had about myself. For me, that is the greatest miracle. Because the rest is again just appearing, disappearing, appearing, disappearing. How does it matter?
What is the perception that each one has? This is the universal truth. Why is everyone given this gift of perception that we can perceive ourselves, the world?
Yes.
Why isn't it just uniqueness to everyone?
The perceiving itself is never trouble. It is the interpreting itself which is the trouble. You see, so if you perceive anything, you perceive this glass of water, no trouble. But the minute the mind comes into it, it says, is that clean? Was this lying here over the weekend? These kind of things can come from this commentator. And the problem is that we never go with what we see. We go with our interpreter, which is sitting over here. So, for me, this perceiving is very valuable.
But is it that we're interpreting perception?
Yes, it's interpreting everything which is appearing. But it is the false interpreter, you see. We take this example often of, I don't know whether you've seen this video or not, but it became very popular. It's when Nelson Mandela passed away. Obama went to South Africa and he made a speech. And the interpreter was standing next to him. And this interpreter was just interpreting rubbish. Obama was saying something, the interpreter was just going the same action, something. You see? And then there was a huge outrage that who is this interpreter? Similarly, we have this interpreter, which is called the mind or the ego, or whatever label you want to use, which is constantly interpreting everything which is coming in front of us. But you will come to this discovery that it is rubbish. It's the same guy, the false interpreter. You see, and we don't need it. We don't need it. Because when we let go of this one, let go of this stream of thought, then you see the world is so beautiful as it is, moment to moment, is so fresh. This interpreter is saying what? That this is meaningful for you or not. this is relevant for you or not. This is what I feel about it. This is what I must do. This is where I must go. All presuming that you are an individual person. But this individual person can we find anywhere? Can we find?
Not individual person. When I remind myself, then it's simpler. And when I hear so much like they say in Bhagavad Gita, they say somebody who's committing a sin is a sinner, but somebody who's bearing that the victim who's allowing that is a bigger sin. Things like this, when I hear these, I'm like, then there's no concept of sin and sinner and
Yes.
all that.
Yes.
Then why is the Bhagavad Gita even mentioning this?
Everything can be heard at different levels. You see. So, and also based on the conditioning for those who are deeply imbibed in the sense of being separate individual people, they need a different set of teachings for them to imbibe. But if you get to the root of the Bhagavad Gita right in the beginning, you'll see that all of this is just a play of consciousness. You are neither the one who was born nor the one who is dying. Who is this one? You see, so it is not obviously talking at the same level. So ultimately, there is no truth which can be spoken anyway. There is nothing true that I can say. Therefore, I'm not the custodian of any truth. I can just keep pointing. So, if somebody who's very devotional, and none of this inquiry appeals to them, I will say just stay at the feet of the Guru or stay at the feet of God. You see? And for the ones who are jnani, they will say, but who is this pointing for? Isn't this doership? You see? But somebody else who has more of a self-inquiry mindset, I will say just inquire into the nature of who you are. Who am I? So all these are pointings which are pointing you to the truth of what you are, but the truth can never be spoken. So in that way, then different expressions, different pointings are there in this realm, but we go with what deeply rings true for us, what has resonance for us. So many that come here have the resonance for the inquiry. They'll say, yes, I want to inquire into the nature of who I am. But there are many others who come and they say, this inquiry seems too abstract, too mindy. It is the opposite of the mindiness, but it seems like that initially. But I just like coming here. It starts like this. And now you hear them, they can talk about the inquiry so beautiful. So both go hand in hand. Devotion and inquiry both go hand in hand. The root point, if there is something that you must check on without believing the interpreter about it, is to see whether there is a existence of an individual entity here at all. Who is this one? Very quickly the mind can come and say, but this body is still here. This body is still here. So to them I say that, but if you look at all your problems, all the situations in your life, how many of them were related just to the body? All our relationships, all our money, even the health of the body, even freedom doesn't relate to the body at all, isn't it? So we're leading the life of this one who presumably is a person, but we cannot ever find this person. This is the holy life. The non-existent, the imagined one, seems to be the real. And that which is real, which is present right here, right now, that seems to be, we seem to be saying, but I'm not there yet. I need some time. So the mind has it all upside down. That which is completely imagined and unreal, we seem to be saying that yes, this one is our comfort zone. And that which is actually present in this moment, right here, right now, we say, I need to settle in. You see, it will take me some time to get there.
that's also sort of, it's like you're not allowing it to happen. It's like reaching a goal when there is no goal. So you should allow it to happen and touch you, or you should jump.
Very good point. You say that there is no, it is not a goal because it is already here. Huh? Then what do we need to allow to resist? It is already here. Then we have to allow what to happen?
Resistance.
Yes. So the resistance to go means it can just be let go of. How do we resist?
By not embracing, by still being in the comfort.
So we resist actually by becoming caught up in our belief about something. See, okay, let's experiment with this because otherwise it'll just be words. Just right now be completely open. Don't resist anything, including thoughts. Don't resist anything, including the flow of attention. Let it go wherever it wants. Don't resist anything at all. Let breaths be exactly as it is. Let the body move exactly as it wants to. If it wants to jump around, it can jump around. If it wants to lie down, it can lie down. Then let emotions also arise exactly as they are meant to. Let all thoughts come and go. All thoughts, they can come and go. Not resisting anything at all. This openness itself is freedom. And in this openness, there can be no sense of there being a ego. There can be no sense of separation. Isn't it? This is already present. How do we resist? We resist when we give meaning to thought. We resist only by giving meaning to thought. Some thought is coming that this is right, this is not right, this is what you should do. A thought is just a resistance to what is. And the thought itself will come and say, but what about the good thoughts? How will I run my life? All this is what? A resistance, isn't it? Because it is saying that what is running this universe doesn't know how to run my life. Therefore, I need to resist that and take control over my life. So it is not the attention to thought which is trouble so much. It is the belief in thought. The belief itself is a resistance.
So when I have certain dreams, in the sense like walk towards some things which give me pleasure, are they not my dreams?
You mean aspirations or goals? Yes. It's fine if you have aspirations or goals, but first we must be able to at least say, isn't it, that whose are they? Very often we have goals, so we can have desires and also we can have aversions, but we never say. So we are on this treadmill of aspiration and goal, but we never say who is the one who is running. So can we define who is this one? See, very often the trick is that the mind's trick is no, let's not get into that. You see, let's not get into that. It's just that this is what it is. So in this way, then there comes a point for many where we say that we tried all of this, all our aspirations, all our goals. Some have happened, some have not happened, but it is not giving me the peace. It is not giving me the happiness and the joy which I wanted. Then we come to this place where we say, what is all of this about? What is my purpose? Who am I in the first place? Whose purpose this is? See? And when this opening happens like this, we say, first I want to figure out who. Then I can define, okay, this is the most auspicious, this is my best goal. Otherwise, what do we say? That I am doing it because it gives me peace, it gives me joy. Huh? Huh? But is that peace and joy not here right now?
It's there, but it matters. It becomes bigger if I achieve it instead of putting myself back.
Can I give you a submission of what happens actually? And you can validate this for yourself. What happens is when a thought comes, say, I must earn $1 million, for example, and this will make me very comfortable, peaceful. This thought believed in is what we call a desire. And a desire sort of becomes a tendency or a knot, like a knot in the system. See? So when that actually happens, you feel a sense of relief. It's actually this knot which is getting untangled. See? And very quickly it is found that this one becomes more, for most, it is found that this one becomes more trouble. So how do I invest this $1 million? How do I make sure I don't waste it? How do I keep this money? Then this is followed usually in this phenomenal play. One desire is followed by then 10 more desires. So then that becomes, oh, I have a million. How can I make it 10 million? Usually in the world, you see. And then that becomes a new norm. And then that process momentarily relief. And then again something. Momentarily relief and then something. And this way we go about this play of life. But to see that right now my natural state, actually, if it remains unassociated with any of this attachment, any concept of me, then all that I want, this happiness, this peace, this joy, this love, is in service to me already. Service to me already. Then we will not have this feverishness about something.
Yeah.
You see, we will not have the feverishness about something, but what can happen is you will see that the play of life still continues. Hmm? But we are not so worried about the outcome. We are not so scared of failure. We are not so excited about momentary success. Everything flows inside you. So this, for me, the root is to first figure out, okay, because something the mind wants to say, no, 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 let's just talk about where I want to go. Let's not talk about who I am. Let's just talk about where I want to go. You see, what you see the trickiness of that. First, we must see who we are, isn't it? Before we can figure out where to go.
The second thing what you said is what I feel and then when I say that dreams and aspirations to even move forward from this happy state constantly, almost constantly for me. But then when I want to achieve something, like I've heard in a lot of videos, there's no goal, there's no need to rush. And but it's still a goal, right? So is that not me or it's still me?
This me, can we find it?
When I find it, it just when I meditate on it, just I can only see water. I think that's the meaning. Like pure water.
Is it the flow which is you, or is the watching itself which is you? And who's watching?
I can't. I don't think there's a.
So
I just feel like the water.
yes, you feel like you're the water, and yet there is a witness of this flowing of water. You said yourself that when I meditate,
Yeah.
you see, I see the flow of water. So this is me. This is me. You see, but this is another labeling of what is appearing as me. Is the water which is you, or is the witness you?
What is
Okay, this is itself is good. Okay, so this water is coming and going. You yourself said when there is meditation, then I see this. When there is no meditation, then I see something else. Like right
I
now,
feel that. Then when I open my eyes, I start feeling I'm still like even like when I'm doing day to day activities, I still feel like the water. Even if there is a crisis not as paranoid as earlier with meditation. I still feel okay, yeah, we can handle it. I'm like totally relaxed about it. And I generally am able to deal with that.
So the one who can feel the water, the one who can perceive this external world and perceive other thoughts, other emotions, that one, I'm giving you a pointing, just find out whether this one is you, which can perceive all this coming and going of various states, might feel like water or air, anything. And even when this feeling is not there, then the presence of the external world is there. We attach ourselves or believe ourselves to be the content of the appearance, whatever the appearance might be. It might be the most sublime, you see. But when we identify or attach with the content of this play, then we have let go of the question, who is the witness, who is witnessing. First, there must be the one who can perceive, and then there must be the content, isn't it?
So who's the witness? The one.
Nobody, no person, no person. uh, And yet it is you.
I feel that
Don't give this to your mind, because the mind will not process this. Let it just find its own place. If you try to understand it, it will become frustrating, and you'll say, "I'm not ready for this talk," or something like this.
you know it's like I've seen that many times, but I feel like it's one of those trippy highs of like okay, like I think if I'm like going on this, without any drugs
Drugs.
or something, I'm like on a high, so I like I'm like okay, stop. Yeah. So I should not stop.
We started the conversation by saying that we must go with what we see, not what our interpreter is saying. You see? Because what happens is that the mind can take this pure seeing also, that you see that you are no thing actually, and yet you are that from which all things come. You can take this pure seeing, which could be yours, and the mind can make it convoluted. It can say, but this is happening to you, but this is happening to you. And if you go with this guy, you see, then it'll either become like a disillusioned spirituality eventually, or it'll become a very strong spiritual ego. Yeah? If you just stay with what you see right now. Yeah? Can you say what you see right now?
I just
You can say whatever you see, that here we are here. Yeah?
in a way, I see that you're very, it's a very open feeling.
Yeah? So you see this. Now, after some time, some thought will also come. So you'll be able to see that thought. Some emotion might come. You'll be able to see this emotion. The visual of a stream or water will come. You'll be able to see this visual. Who is the one that sees? Okay, this is you. The one that sees is you. What does it look like? This you.
So when I don't see myself, I see like just fine.
Yes, but again, white is what is seen. We said that you are that which sees. So that which sees is also white? Or is that another visual which the mind is offering up for you? You see, what happens often is that when we talk about awareness or the witnessing, the mind says, yes, yes, awareness, here, this is this black space. Huh? Sometimes it can be white light. But again, we have to remember that this is again content. We are that which is seeing, the seeing itself, not whatever the content might be. So this which is seeing itself, what can we say about this one?
Yeah, I'm a very visual person. So
Yeah.
I can just see like my back. That's how it gets me. That's what I
Yes, but
see
then
me seeing something else. So there's somebody behind me seeing also. I
we have to explore this a little deeper, because in this simple exploration you will discover yourself. But remember that whatever, because you're visually oriented, you might get a lot of these visuals. All the artists also typically have this problem where the mind immediately shows an artistic impression of what is being said. Okay? But you have to remember that just like any other appearance, that is also an appearance. Might be the best, such beautiful light. It could be blue light emanating from the sixth chakra or something like that. But even that is an appearance. Who is witnessing? Who is the witnessing? We stay with this question for some time, then all of this will become so clear so quickly. And then all the questions about goals and desires, all of that, you will see that it's just flowing on its own and it's allowed to flow. And there's so much peace and joy already in the process itself without waiting for the outcome. And even if there is no peace and joy, you see, because many times we say that there will be peace and joy, and next day you come to satsang and it's so frustrating. There's no peace and joy. You see, but even if there is no peace and joy and some other state is coming, because you see that I am the witnessing itself, I am the awareness itself. You see that I am untouched by any state. This is freedom. See? So freedom is not in service to a state. What kind of freedom would it be if it is always just hankering for bliss or for peace? Then it would not be really freedom. Freedom means all states can come, all states can go. You realize that you are not touched by any of this. That was what I would call freedom. See? So when you discover yourself to be this pure awareness itself, then you will see that there is nobody here who is touched by any of this play. And yet there is so much joy which can appear in this play. So this joy can be experienced, this pain can be experienced, everything can be experienced, but you find nobody who is touched by it. I wonder if it's feeling too much.
I feel like I come and go in this, but my question of perception was regarding the visuals and
Yes.
yes, they are at times beautiful. It's also a choice. Decide to see only beauty, coming and going on even not so beautiful events, and then you're like untouched.
In this way, then we don't resist. See what we said about non-resistance earlier. If we are attached to only one aspect of the play, then we will resist when the other aspect comes. See, and we'll be running, and that which we resist then persists. That which we run from then persists. So we have to understand that
Father, can you hear me? We have lost you, Father.
Ram, are you going to tell us about truth? Are you going to share with us? I don't see Anantaji, but I know he's still here. Satnam, everybody. Satnam.
Father, can you unmute your mic? We cannot hear you, Father.
Thank you, my dear. Yes, yes. I lost you. I'm not sure exactly when I lost you, but it was the best pointing ever. So we were just looking at this question that Azhar asked. He said that the phenomenal, for me, seems like is getting dissolved like an ice cube in the water of that which is non-phenomenal. So the witnessing itself is like this water, and the phenomenal is like the ice cube. Is that how it is? So just elaborate a little more on that. What do you actually?
I mean, there were expectation earlier, expectation of the mind from the spiritual knowledge,
Yeah.
that as it is witnessed in case of thought, that I am not the thought, or I am separate from it. So when this thing happens, thought vanishes. But in case of the form appearance or the tangible portion
Yes.
of this existence, it is not like the seeing is at a different place and that which is seen is at a different place. It is like that which is seen is inside that which is seen.
That which is seen is inside that which is seen. Yes. Yes. But can you find the point of intersection? Can you find the point of contact, or is just it is beyond the realm of visualization?
It is like in the mind of the
Father, we have lost you again. Maybe you have to reconnect or something.
Okay, check, check, check. Okay now? Okay. I was just asking a question and I said, please nod if you're with me. And everyone was frozen. And I realized either nobody is with me or we are stuck. It can seem a little bit subtle what I'm saying, but actually it's very simple. What I'm saying is, when you check, am I aware now? It is clear that awareness is here and it is aware of itself. And yet we are not able to give it a location in time and space. Isn't it? So when we ask ourselves, am I aware now? We find that awareness is here and I as awareness am aware of it, and yet I am not able to give it a phenomenal reference point. So that is why we were saying that to find the point of intersection between that which is phenomenal, for example, the body, and this awareness, that would mean that there is a point in time and space where both are present. You see? But time and space is much later. Time and space is born after the birth of being. Then within being, it is projected. So this pure witnessing, I don't find any possibility that this could actually be here in this way, and yet it is all that is here at the same time. See, because consciousness itself is made up of this. But in the way that the question was asked, where it seems like the person body is interacting with this witnessing in a phenomenal sort of way, that is not what I see. After looking now, what do you find? It's a beautiful contemplation. Very, very, very beautiful.
The ice is resolving more into
Huh?
ice is resolving more into one.
Yes, this can be sensed. It can be known that this being is arising from within this awareness itself, which is here, made up of itself. You see, but why I'm making this point again and again is that sometimes the mind comes up and paints all sorts of visuals, you see, and paints pictures of awareness and beingness and how the person is inside beingness and how the beingness is inside awareness. It makes a mental model for you, which is seen visually. And many times this mental model, when we see, we feel, okay, I got it, I see it. Okay? So this mental model also has to be discarded and just go back to the seeing itself. Seeing this, the question, that's why I say it's very useful. Am I aware now? Okay? And even for this, the mind comes and tries to make some mental pictures, isn't it? It says, because there is awareness of object, therefore I'm aware. I'm saying, okay, keep the objects also aside. Just check if none of the senses were working, just awareness. Are you not aware that awareness is here? And this can seem, for many of you, you might be saying, okay, I'm not understanding this, or this is too.
Master, how could anyone say that I am dead? Because I felt that earlier, no matter how hard I tried to meditate on I am, but the I am was restricted to the body. But when I came in contact with the master, when I started reading the Satsang, and I went to home and meditated, then this I am, the body, started to dissolve, and the boundaries started to dissolve, and suddenly the seeing happened, the consciousness see that. So it is the master How could anyone say that?
I am. So when we ask, am I aware now? Say yes, I am aware. So awareness is aware of itself. Therefore, awareness itself is awareness. You see? So I am that. So from that perspective, we can say, because it is you as awareness which is aware.
And I remind myself it's easy to be constantly in that awareness. That is very difficult
Okay, can you step out of it?
because I am that.
No, but is this just a belief, or when you check?
When I remind myself that I am aware, and it just becomes so much. Everything just is easy.
Yes.
There's no like rebel, there's no fight.
Yes. For awareness, actually, nothing which is appearing is ever difficult. Only what happens is that we believe ourselves to be an object inside the appearance. So we believe ourselves to be an imagined idea or an imagined person. That is when this world seems to be full of strife and suffering and trouble. Isn't it? So then we see that the only trouble is our belief in this identity, which is called the ego. So if you want to be free from this trouble, just don't believe your next thought. That also is a thought. And it's the most natural, most common response I get. So I said, don't believe your next thought. Immediately, I was searching for the next thought, and the thought said, but that's a little difficult. And you believed it.
But then how does one operate? Like, suppose if my next thought, so I was living in Bangalore. My next thought is be careful of this situation. Like, say if I'm going back to my place, be careful of the situation. That is a thought. If I don't believe that and then I just walk, I'll be in trouble. So how does
Yeah.
like where's the safety then? I have to believe that thought.
So let's look at another version, which is my favorite version of this question, which very 100% almost of the time I get asked this when I say don't believe your next thought. So my favorite version of this question is that if I don't intervene in my life, God will make a mess out of it.
Oh, I think God is better.
So if God is better, then does God need this thought to run our life and to keep us safe?
But why can't we say that my actions is also God actions?
Yes, it is.
Like
So your question is coming from a different place as hers. Your question is coming from this place, which is feeling that because I'm thinking this, therefore my action is happening in this way.
No, I am saying from the same place that
Which
it
is-
is doing that I am the doer. But what my belief is that my doing is not separate from God because I am inside God. Like the cloud has to shower the rain, but all this happen in the God or by the will of God. In the same way, my responses, my actions,
Yes.
maybe for the time being, I believe that I am doing good. All this all along was happening inside God.
Yes. That's exactly what I've been saying. That if all is happening through God as God, then who is this me which has to say, should I do this or that?
Because God wants me
Me.
to operate this way right now.
It can be God or you.
No, it is like there is cloud and there is the
It is.
all pervading consciousness inside which the cloud is. In the same way, there is the separate identity, and this identity inside God.
And this identity has some attributes. To say that we have a separate identity within God means that there must be something which separates or some boundary line that there is a me. What is the boundary?
We can ask that question in Satsang, but not at workplace.
I used to ask at the workplace. I've troubled a lot of people who used to work for me. Just the other day we were sharing.
In workplace, when we are assigned a task, we have to finish it.
Yeah.
We don't say
What do you actually feel?
I feel that in that moment, whatever needs to happen, it happens by the will of God.
Exactly.
But my actions are not separate.
There is no you first for your actions to be separate. You're saying that there is a me inside God. Okay, so I'm saying, okay, what is the boundary line or something? Tell me the attributes of you which is there inside God. What is this you? I don't find this. That is the thing. At least for a cloud, you can say, okay, boundary. But you is what?
Just God. He is God.
Yes. Yes, yes, that is exactly what I'm saying. I am saying that you are the Supreme Lord, and you are saying, but who's going to keep me safe? You see, the Supreme Lord's question? Then who's as?
Other side.
There is no such thing.
As in, like, not as God, but as separate from God.
Which is what?
Just the person.
Doesn't exist. I know it can seem a bit strong. You're first time you've come here. I don't want to throw you off the deep end or something.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
So, I think it was Robert Adams who said everything that has happened to you till up till now has been preordained.
Okay.
So the minute you go and look inward and start within the search, then it is not preordained. Then you skip that, you jump, you transcend, and then God takes over.
You know, when you quote a great master and then you yeah, then there's a traditionalist also here which operates and says you should not argue with the words of a great master. Okay, suppose you were saying that.
Okay, I was saying that.
You were saying what? That before you started the inquiry, everything was preordained. And then what happened?
And then I allowed God to take over.
So this preordaining, who was doing? Before inquiry, everything was preordained, and then God takes over. So the preordained one was who? Who was doing the preordaining, the script writing? God had outsourced it because Bangalored it. That's the term for outsourcing it. God had Bangalored the process. So for the ones who are not doing the inquiry, outsourced to Bangalore, and the rest then God does himself.
Travel up the chain.
So the awareness. So then you become aware.
And before that,
So Master, you are saying that the thoughts have no contribution whatsoever in the action that is performed. That is being performed.
just another appearance. Just as actions are another appearance, thoughts are another appearance. Outsourced God or the real thing?
There's something called unconsciousness in a person.
Subconsciousness? Unconscious. Okay.
So
what does it mean, unconsciousness?
Unconsciousness. Well, he's not aligned to the truth.
Is spiritually unconscious.
Identified being. Being which is identified as a person. Is that what
yes,
it is?
yes.
Okay.
So that is unconscious.
Okay.
So until you're unconscious, maybe you're not aligned to the truth. whatever you're doing is not aligned to the truth. Dharma prevails. Why is some people so I mean behaving the way they do, cruel to everything? So who's doing that?
Yeah, you are going to
Right?
help with that answer, right? Because you know what I'm going to say.
I know if God is doing everything,
Yeah.
then there is no right and wrong, there is no unconsciousness. This action would lead him to suffering, and then he would turn.
Yes,
At some
yes.
point of time.
There are many cruel actions done by the humanity. You also said that is done by God.
Yes.
Like the killing, the massacre, the
Yes.
war. Are you all done? All is done by God.
The Jews, so many Jews are killed.
In this
How many millions?
expression of consciousness, we've said often that the extremes of all the contrasts are available. There is no extreme in the contrast which is unavailable.
Extreme contrast.
Unavailable. The sweetest and the saltiest. The most joyful and the most horrendous. All these contrasts are available.
Master is saying that you are giving free pass to the cigarette killers. The killing is done by God.
Often I used to use this example in Satsang that when I say you are not the doer, everyone says that means I can just pick up a gun and go around shooting people. That's why I say that simpler for this doership question is to find out who is the doer. Who are we saying is the doer? We say very easily now, no person, man, no person, consciousness. Then if no person, then who's free will? Who's the serial killer? Who's the free pass given to by who? And I've never heard of one after hearing this then actually became a serial killer. Shot someone. At Ramesh's house, this was the most common question.
I understand the extreme possibility of killing and that kind of thing, but not so if the where the person is being killed by the murderer, who's the victim. I don't understand that situation as clearly as the extreme pure happiness and pure rage. The in betweenness of that. So, say in this example, the victim who's been killed or the Jews who died, what have they to invite? Like, I can understand, say, Hitler at some point would feel guilty and sad and he would become a saint later at some point. The person who was the Jew and killed, I mean, what good is for them?
That's why I said most simple is to first find out whether there is a person who has any identity here. Find out if there is such a person. So that is the first thing I want to say. And you will discover there is no such thing. All of this is just a play of consciousness which is going on. Then, the second thing I want to tell you is that everyone, if they were to look at their life objectively, they will see that it is a play of grace. Even the ones who went through the most horrendous situation. Horrendous situation. We were talking the other day in another vein about our favorite movies. And I said my favorite movie is Life is Beautiful. Why? Because in times of such tremendous adversity, there were some who kept the joy, kept the love. So for them, it was very beautiful, isn't it? So when we look at it as a mass, say we say, okay, millions of people, this is what happened, and I see no good in this. But if you look at each story, each life, I'm sure it was pure grace, even this.
I just don't understand how is it pure grace.
So So for you first, let's come to this point of understanding who we are, who I am, and then maybe the rest of it will start making a lot more sense.
There's a feeling that some people are being permanently shortchanged by God, and that's where the. But once you look in, then somehow that question has becomes kind of irrelevant because you feel that they could not have been permanently shortchanged. They would have got something exquisite out of it, though it was not saved. Maybe they just took it with them as the body, as they dropped the body or whatever.
There are no people.
So,
because if you try to understand it from a personal perspective, then we can create all the stories about, okay, this is how it was. But for you, I can say that there is the person. Just an idea which feels that it is being shortchanged. Just the non-existent cat which is saying, I didn't get my bowl of milk today. It's like this.
I can understand there are people. But what about energies of space? Like,
Yeah.
There are some places which have good energy, and there are some places which have bad energy. And when we enter a particular energy zone, it affects even us, even if we are not people. So, what does one do in that? Or you hang out with certain type of energies and you kind of become like that.
Yes. Energy is, all of this is energy. So there can be energy which is like this, or energy which is not visible through the eyes. There is all forms of energy. In fact, all this phenomenal play is a play of energy. So energy is what constitutes the appearance. So our question was, to that which the appearance is appearing, is it touched by any energy? Is this witnessing or the awareness that I am, is it touched by any energy? Affected by any energy?
Technically, in the way you will answer is not affected.
No, that's why not technically we must look and see. So we can play with our own energies because emotion also is an energy. So when anger comes, irritation comes, frustration comes, you see this energy is here. It's pulsating. Bodies also could be getting affected by it. But you check whether that which I am, is touched by it. And then you discover that all energies are just playing, dancing in front of you, but nothing really happens to you. But all this, I don't want you to make concepts out of them. It has to become your living experience.
Some people say, no, that like this.
Yeah. It all operates at the mind level, all of this. But when we're going beyond this now, we're going beyond karma, we're going beyond all of these things. So now we're finding ourselves to be this pure, untouched, unmoved, eternal awareness. Then for who all of this plays? Just for an idea that we had of ourselves. Okay, I missed some questions. Huh? Okay, the first question I found is Jesh asked, Father, the me is the filter through which it all gets warped. The I is distorting the scene. No, it's not distorting the scene, just our interpretation is causing all this seeming belief, this identity. You see, but the awareness is never distorted. Even through the play of many identities, actually you have remained untouched through all of this. Sandesh says, Namaste Guruji, is there any work in this world which can be said to be right or wrong? Or is this right or wrong relative to a person's perspective? Depends at which level you are speaking from. If you're speaking as a citizen of the world, as a person who lives here, then yes, some things are right, some things are wrong. If you're speaking from the perspective of God Himself as consciousness, I am that I am, this sense of I amness, then all that is being done by you. So you are responsible for everything which is right or wrong. If you're speaking from the ultimate perspective, which is just the awareness itself, the witnessing of all of this, then for this one, the world has truly never existed. But even if we say the world existed, then all that is happening in this play has no effect, does not touch this one. Therefore, nothing can be said to be right or wrong. So it depends on our perspective. What do we see ourselves to be? Don't go with what you believe yourself to be. What do you see yourself to be? Shanti says, Father, is it so that you said once that the being or consciousness is seen by awareness, but awareness is not seen by beings? Please, can you clarify this? So when I ask, can you stop being now? We see that the presence of being is here. Who is aware of this presence of being? This is awareness itself. That is aware of the presence of it. When we check, we see that awareness is aware of being. And this being, in turn, is the witness of all that is phenomenal. So all phenomenally experienced, it is being. Tasting of a fruit, smelling of a flower, all this is a play of consciousness. So this being is the witness of all that is phenomenal. But you are the witness even of this being. But this being is not witnessing you. You are witnessing it. See? But this, you must remember that we are speaking with some element of duality just to make the point. Okay. But it is also seen that this consciousness is also made up of me. It is also made up of awareness itself. Before all there is awareness itself. So we can say there is one awareness which is aware of all. But just to make the point, once we make the differentiation between awareness and beingness, then we can also break it up and say all which is phenomenal belongs to being, to consciousness, and there is you are the non-phenomenal witness of even this being. Does it correlate when I say like this? Because I recently got some feedback that I don't understand when you say awareness being person. You must tell me.
Hello, Father.
Yes, my dear, you can come.
Hi, I was just really looking at this question as well. You're talking about this, with Shanti's question, and I just want to contemplate it with you as well, please. When I'm looking at it, it's like the screen here. I'm looking at the picture on it and everything. It feels like that. It feels like that is also the awareness, and the feeling of someone looking out of this body also feels like the seeing. it feels like I can't place the seeing when it's really looked at. It feels like it's all the seeing. And it all just seems to be one thing. And I can understand I can understand the confusion, because I get confused when I think about I and awareness. Because when I go very still and really like look at it, there doesn't seem to be like these hands here, It's like it's all the one seeing. There's not seeing it. It doesn't feel like there's seeing it. It feels like it is seeing and it together.
Yes, yes, yes. So we can
Does
look.
that make any sense?
Yes, yes. Let's look at it together. So when we say aware now, like we said, we cannot place the location of this awareness, and yet we cannot say that there is any place where awareness is not. So as long as there is this spatial appearance, it also seems like it is in this. It is this.
You seem to have frozen, Father.
I should not close my eyes. You see? So actually nothing has changed between sleep state and waking state. And yet we can say that something changed. The presence of being is here. Isn't it? So although everything continues to be awareness, we can now say that now there is this presence of being and hence this play of the Leela. So it's made up of the awareness and yet it is playing in this dynamic aspect as consciousness. So from the absolute perspective, nothing changed, and yet from the perspective of consciousness now, there is this entire play which is going on. Does it seem like there's a dichotomy here?
No, I think what happens, like what happens here, is that there is just everything, and even it is seen that the one that's seeing it is part of the one. But I think that subtle sense of I'm looking at that is what can trigger I am separate. It's quite interesting that sort of like that going backwards and forwards, like I am aware, so therefore I must be separate. But then it can be seen that the feeling of I am separate is also part of that play. You know, and I hear a lot of people talking about this sort of like ping pong play between, you know, being and seeing, as Tony calls it, being and seeing. And I've been looking at that, you know, a lot in the last month, and seeing that being and seeing is just the feeling of, oh, I'm awareness, I am separate, and then it not being again, because it seemed that the feeling of separateness is actually just as relevant as this mouse or this screen, or yeah, it's so subtle. It's so subtle, the shift in perspective.
The simplest way to look at it is to see what is the difference between sleep state and waking state.
Yeah, there isn't any. There isn't any.
Yes, yes. There isn't any. Yet we cannot deny the presence of being in the waking.
Yes.
There is the appearance of this being. There is this appearance of this Leela. Huh? Ultimately,
Yes.
nothing happened. Nothing really changed for you. You did not separate. You did not go from being awareness into something else. Yet, deny that there is the appearance of something called sleep state, waking state, dream state. This is all states which seem to come and go.
Yes, yes, yes. Like when satsang's finished, another state will come and go, or you know, or switching off and going into a little bit sort of daydream world will happen.
Exactly.
You know, and that'll go and come and go. And, yeah, because daydreaming is a little bit like dreaming.
A lot like dreams.
Yeah, a lot like exactly like dreaming. And then and then this sort of slight identification with I'll go, oh, I was daydreaming. That means I'm not. I'm not. I've lost it. It's like this play of the I believing it's daydreaming or it's dreaming or it's something. This is kind of fascinating.
That's why very often I say that there is nothing changed for you between is that like in the appearance that this light came on of me and this dance started. But you didn't change.
No, it's just the belief that it's changed.
Yeah.
It's such a subtle thing.
That's why very much I enjoy that it's only about two things. And I'm paraphrasing and you can correct me if I'm wrong. But she said that it's only ever about two things. It is about the one, or it is about the one believing it is something else.
Yeah, believing it's not the one.
It's just a pretense.
Yeah, it's the one, or the one believing it's not the one. It's kind of the same thing as well, isn't it? Yeah. Your screen is frozen again, Father.
Sorry, I'm just unmuting.
I
When you close your eyes,
the seamless awareness.
the seamless awareness.
Yes.
Okay.
But when I open my eyes, I see bodies. How is it my master?
I see bodies.
Right?
I see bodies when I open my eyes. But I don't see the correlation between seamless awareness. What do you mean seamless awareness?
Then when I close my eyes, it just awareness. It just being. And awareness and being, there's no difference in that. It just, I don't know, please point out to me. Then just I feel that it's just a beauty. It's great space, beautiful, no thinness, beautiful. That's all I see. That's all I can see. I need to close my eyes. But
When you
it's not
close your
there.
eyes, there's an appearance of no distraction or nothing which asks for meaning, nothing which, except when thoughts come, then obviously, then would you say that that is also part of the seamlessness, or?
Thoughts are not coming in that. Or at least in this moment, when I close my eyes, it's so good. There's no distraction. It's what I say, it's nothing. It's
So when you close your eyes, the sensory input is not there. The visual sensory input is not there. But when you open your eyes, what happens?
perception happens, sensations happen, response to the world happens.
Yes. So all this happening is there. How does it affect awareness?
No, it's not affect awareness. Why
There is awareness when eyes are closed, and this didn't change when eyes were open. It's just that new content came.
That is, I'm not able to be there in that.
How did you leave? Just your attention. Attention is playing.
Attention is there. So
even when eyes are closed.
What do you mean by oneness? When I open my eyes, I see differences everywhere. And form comes and label comes in.
But did you shift? Find out who you are, where you are.
I'm not sincere.
Don't believe this thought. This is what I mean by self-limiting beliefs. You are that already. Where have you not reached?
My attention is going away, so I'm
It's
losing
okay.
it.
Attention is going. My attention going like this, like this, like this is going. So, where is it coming to? Where is it reporting the attention?
It's reporting there, actually. It's reporting there. But seemingly attention is going away.
Yeah.
So then I feel I'm losing it.
Yes,
That's
you
a
lose
belief.
this one that is feeling this.
That's a belief.
Yes, it's just a belief. So lose the belief, you are not losing it.
But how to feel the prominence?
Should I really say it?
I will have to close my eyes.
Now, what's happening? Eyes are open.
It's not like when I close my eyes.
So then you feel that awareness is a state.
Not a state.
But because what is changing is only the state of what is appearing. What is the difference between eyes open and eye closed? Just the content.
Content only can happen in awareness. Not awareness, nothing can happen. But I don't know.
Yes. Are you aware now with eyes open?
Yes.
What changed for this awareness?
Nothing changed.
So no matter what the state is, This awareness remains unchanged. This is the only stability, because if you look for stability in states or appearances, then it's going to be trouble.
So what I'm experiencing when I close my eyes is a state.
Yes.
The state is not.
Anything which is being experienced is a state.
Sorry?
Anything which is being experienced is a state.
Father, you're frozen again.
Answer. Stay with this question. Am I aware now?
Father, can I come?
You can come, my dear.
Yeah. I just wanted to. It's what you've been saying pretty much all day, and what Priya was saying also.
Move your camera a bit so we can see your face as well, because we see only your mouth.
Sorry. The other day when I wrote in the Heart Altar, and I was saying about how the only time that that not being with you bothered me was, I think the words I used was when I forget who I am. And from the time I hit enter or whatever, I thought, is that really right? And I thought about that. I really contemplated that. And what I recognized is that there never is a time, now anyway, and I can't remember how long it's been, but there never is a time that I do forget who I am, because the witnessing is always occurring, even in the times when it seems like the person has entered the picture.
Yes.
There's always that watching. And it's exactly like Priya was saying. There's always the one, or there's always the one who's believing something or with the other black, I can't remember now what she said, but that's exactly it. And I don't know how long this has gone on, but it really was good to contemplate that. And actually I had a chat with Priya yesterday on Skype, and it was so good, it to see the same things go on, the same. And last night, watching Muji's Satsang was just, it made me feel so good. There's this ping pong thing that goes on is so normal, but that doesn't mean that you've lost anything. It doesn't mean that you've forgotten who you are, because you're watching the ping pong.
Yeah.
And it seems to be a perfectly normal occurrence. So it was very solidifying. I guess that's a word.
This is very good. This is very good what you say. Just one point I want to make about this is that this is the only reason Actually, that we make this differentiation, not the only reason, the main reason why we make this distinction sometimes between awareness and consciousness, or beingness and seingness, seingness and beingness. You see, is this. Huh? Because for the seeing, for awareness, nothing ever really changed.
No, no,
You said, I don't
not at
remember
all.
how far back. You won't remember because forever it's been like this. For the
Yeah,
seeing,
yeah,
it's only been like this. The seeing
yeah,
has never really been identified. That's why we make
yeah.
this distinction, just to make the point clear, that in this pure seeing is the emergence of this being. And this being comes with the power of belief.
Ah,
There is no power of belief prior to the presence
mm,
of being. So this
yes,
being
yes.
comes with the power of belief, which is the power to pretend. So then our
Ah,
example gets completed, you see. So then we say
yeah.
that there's this one, we can actually just stop at that. We can just stop at there's only this one. And those who
Yeah.
are ripe enough, those who are ripe enough will hear this. And even if they don't hear it, they are still the one. You see, all is still the
Mm,
one. But the whole
yes,
point of satsang, the whole point of having these talks is to speak at the level of consciousness and to tell consciousness as consciousness, look, my friend, my buddy, myself, you have picked up this identity. You have picked up this identity. You see,
mm,
I have picked up this identity of being a person. Huh?
mm,
So this power of belief has been used to pretend to be a person. You see, that's all that we are saying in satsang. That we're misusing or using the way it was meant to be used, this power of belief to pretend to be the person. And now being itself has had enough of this game and is letting go in this way. You see?
mm,
But for the one, did something happen? Nothing happened. For awareness,
mm.
nothing moved. Through this entire process of satsang
Yeah,
or being
yeah,
completely identified, nothing moved, isn't it?
yeah.
This is the only reason why we make this distinction between seeing and being. Because seeing is present even through sleep state. But the
Mm,
potential to pretend, the potential for belief, does not exist without the presence of being.
yes, yes,
When we say the waking state is there, it is the presence of being which is there, and the presence of being, it has the power of attention and belief. So belief itself
yes,
becomes this pretense of being a person.
yes.
Yes, that's why to your point was very relevant. That's why the point you made on Facebook, I don't remember exactly where, maybe in the contemplation chat, was very relevant. That you see that for the one, nothing changed. And
Mm,
yet, there is something which is deepening day by day. You see, yet there is something which is deepening day by day. So, how
yeah,
is it like that? Because for the one awareness, nothing really changed. But
nothing changed.
for being, which was associating itself with all of this identity, now is letting go of more and more of this identity and is
Yes,
come back to the natural state of being unassociated. You see? So,
yes,
although in reality nothing happened for awareness, yet in the play as being, all these associations are now being dropped. And for being, this seems like it gets lighter and lighter. It gets freer and
mm,
freer.
yeah, yeah. That's what it seems like. Is
Yes. And to the mind, this can seem like, oh, this doesn't compute. It either has to be always just free, or it has to be
mm,
bound and going towards freedom. But it's not like this, you see, because the
yeah,
mind cannot understand this. Yet we can see now what is going on, isn't it? So, as
yes,
awareness, completely untouched and unmoved, but as being and the power of belief belonging to being, more and more of these pretenses getting dropped, and therefore it seems to get lighter, freer. All this burden of personhood, presumed personhood, seems to be dropping.
yes, yes. Excited.
Thank you, my dear.
So like saying like if I go out, doesn't matter. Like,
I had another point which I wanted to make about what Soham had posted. He said that although person is never here, there is never a person, it is seen, there never was a person here. And yet something feels like it is getting closer to the truth. Something feels like it is deeper. It is this consciousness itself which has carried these pretenses of personhood, which is now dropping.
Because we say this, no one to get anything.
Yes.
But still, it's
Yes,
something
exactly.
Getting something.
Exactly. That's why Satsang is there. So from the ultimate perspective, from the perspective of awareness, it is seen nothing is happening. There is no process, no satsang, no deepening, nothing. No identification, no freedom from identification. And yet, this game of being, this game of Maya, does appear. And the one that is projecting this game is the being itself, which to make the game juicy, have more bite, has the power to believe itself to be a character in the game. Now this belief is being dropped. So although nothing is happening, yet we can say most auspicious thing is happening. You see, because if this distinction is not made, if this conversation is not had in this way, then it can be very frustrating. So what is going on? Then you say, keep coming to satsang, and you say nobody here to become free. So what are you saying? You see? Therefore, we have to make this distinction that although nothing has changed, you can be identified, there can be the identification as a person for millions of lifetimes. You see? And yet for you as awareness, nothing has changed. But this is rehab for what? Rehab from this identification of personhood itself. That's why Guruji says this is God's rehab for himself. Please.
Now the attention, now it is, I can feel that. But what next then? I can transact without losing that.
How would you lose it?
Why? Thoughts take you away from it. Thoughts take you away. So the jiva, when you think you dream.
No. Well, you can say that, but actually we added a corollary to that, isn't it? When you believe your thought, then you are identified. Otherwise, what will happen for you is you will feel that freedom is a state of constricted attention, and my attention only has to be with my presence. Otherwise, I'm not free. Or attention only has to be in awareness itself. Otherwise, I'm not free. I am saying that this is not true. The only seeming bondage is your pretense to be a person, your identification as a person. The only way to get identified is to believe a thought. With me?
Yeah, that's okay, yes. Listen.
Yes. But what might be happening for you is that there might be a personal desire to be in a particular state. And this also has to be burnt. There is nothing for the person to do. It feels like a sense of freedom, or it feels like a sense of frustration. When you hear
frustration, absolutely no frustration.
This,
because there's no mind is clear, and there's not much of garbage going on.
Yeah.
And the body is very relaxed. Everything is okay.
Suppose the mind was noisy and the body was stressed. Now,
Sometimes I see that.
you always see that.
Sometimes the energies are not good in the body and the mind.
That not good is a label.
It's a label. But discomfort is there.
Yes, but who has a problem with it? The most crunching sort of energy can be there. You see? But who's suffering from it?
The person I get. Only the person.
You have to tell me now. You have to tell me. Is there a sufferer of these energies?
When I'm in sleep, all these things will not bother me.
Yeah, so don't infer. Don't infer. Just wait for the next time when some energy comes. You ask yourself, is there a sufferer of these energies?
For whom is it?
For whom is it?
And what about the discomfort that arises?
Yeah. So, energy is arising. You have not labeled it as discomfort. Then you will find that there is enough space for all energy to play. Without the label, there is no trouble. That's what we say often, isn't it? That if we presume we suffer from stage fright, then
so good and bad doesn't arise.
Yes. So when we say I suffer from stage fright and I'm supposed to go up, you had a play, no, recently? Exhibition. So if you have some fright about theatre or something like this, you say, oh, I'm nervous, or I have to make a public speech, so I'm feeling so nervous. No? But the same energetic feeling can be there when we are going for a foreign vacation or something that we enjoy. We say, this is great, I'm feeling so excited, I'm excited. So energetically, not so much difference, but the label itself is different. One is a resistive label saying this should not be here. The other one is saying welcoming. Yes, I'm so excited.
No, but in both the cases, it's that when one is very extremely happy or one is extremely sad,
yes.
The sense that is energy that is arising in the body, it brings a sense of restlessness, that I would say.
Yes.
A sense of momentum in the movement.
Yes. So this vibration can be there. Can see, even the body can be this thing. But who is troubled by this?
What does it mean? Let the energy have its play.
Yes.
There is no predicting which way it moves. It could be a short term or long term.
Yeah. Yeah. And who's concerned by it? All your fears will lead you to your attachments and to your ideas or concepts about yourself. It's very good that you're able to expose. So you say, what if it doesn't go? Actually, that's what you're saying, right? What if something comes and it's really strong and it doesn't leave me?
No, like I really don't know. What does one can like sattvically provide some momentum for that, whatever to do. So what is the right way to handle it, or does it seek its own outlet and it's just witness to it?
Yes, once you see that there is no sufferer here of the energy, then what is concerned about it?
So, Master, if you would say that if there is a burning in the hand, then one should not approach and try to cure it.
Again, we come back to the doer.
Yes, why not? Yes.
So, from the state of neutrality, then there can be a movement towards walking to a doctor, or there can be a movement towards not walking to a doctor.
So, if that is accepted in that case, then why not in this case? That there is this energy arising that is causing this disturbance, and it demands some attention.
Yes. So sometimes you might feel like, okay, let me get some rest or do some yoga to sort it out. Sometimes you're just sitting doing nothing. It's okay. I'm not talking about the action. The mind tendency is to correlate what is being said. What are you going to do about it? I'm not even coming to that. I'm prior to that. I am saying you discover that there is no sufferer. But I never said that we must not do this or that. Just from the state of neutrality, all that is allowed to move the way it is meant to move.
So in this moment, when I am unable to do anything, what should I do?
When you're unable to do anything, in what way?
There is this energy that is arising of you, and it is kind of a strong energy. And there is kind of presence also that is seen to be untouched by this energy, but
Yes.
the attention seems to be again drawn down towards the energy.
You asked me the simplest question you ever asked me. You said, right now in this moment, when I'm unable to do anything, what should I do? If you're unable to do anything, then you must not do anything. Because you're unable to do it. Yeah.
Feel what you had, and your first reaction or first thought is what I should do, should not stop. Because that is also
A doing.
consciousness leading you there. But the moment you will stop it, like say no one is conscious, it's like not doing anything, master doing job. So then it's going wrong. Or so that's not what master do. Master do just flow with the flow. So the flow answer is to go and put your hand on the rope. That's what you should do. Right?
It's just from this state of neutrality. Means you're just watching what is going to happen even through this body. It's just a presumption that I am doing or not doing. But this I does not exist. Doership is such a sticky topic, you see. We have seen that there is no person here. And yet we cannot see that I as a person am not doing or not doing anything.
It just flows, right?
Yes.
The surrender is so strong that you just keep.
Yes, but this you itself doesn't exist. The one who claims that I have some will of myself.
The thoughts are so pure that you just.
Thoughts are never pure. They can presume, they can come very well dressed. They can come dressed as Swamis, saying I'm very pure. But inside each thought is the presumption of the individual me. No thought is referring to you as God or as awareness.
But then
thoughts are also consciousness. Yes. Yes.
So I should not differentiate it. I should even observe that.
So we use the example of a video game. So you created this video game in which you are a game character. And to tell you what your missions are in the game, you created this voice in the program. Mr. Bond, your next mission is to go rescue this one, to go and go to this country. All of this is the part of the missions in the game. You see? Now you're tired of playing the game. Then will you keep listening to the voice? So thoughts is this. The voice might not switch off, but you will stop paying attention to it. Stop giving it your belief. This is what's happening. So you created this program, you created this voice so that you could enjoy this play. Now you've had enough of this play, so you're saying, how do I get out of this play? To get out of this play, just don't follow the instructions of this voice. Doesn't mean you resist it, doesn't mean you stop it. But all that this voice is doing is referring to you as Mr. Bond. It is never referring to you as that which is true. And the freedom which it wants to find is also for James Bond, not for you.
So you should just surrender and listen to it, but not enact on it.
Just, even if attention goes to it, you don't give it your belief. And there will be some which get your belief because those have been strongly nourished in the past. Then those you pull into your inquiry and say, who is this? If the thought is saying, I should do this, who is this I who should do something or not? Then you use them into your inquiry, then the juiciness, the magnetism of this thought will also get reduced. Because you discover that there is no I, there is no individual I, me, just an idea.
So when I question myself, generally it's all one day.
Yes.
So I'm sometimes so even tired of thinking of this as label. And then that is everything is a label. Even like say what a master says is label.
Label.
Because I think even that is a label.
Yeah.
Then it becomes so doubting to even like talk about anything in general. Especially have a like a conversation, so then even any conversation is a label. So it's like it's best to be like not talk or just.
It's a very good question. What has happened is that we are so used to listening to this voice that we feel that we are just operating from these labels, which is the voice of the interpreter. Now, when you go outside and you see the sun, do you need a label? You see it. So then you come and report that I see it. See? Same way, when you see yourself to be what you are, then you're not relying on a mental concept. You're not getting tripped up by words, awareness, consciousness, God. You just see that I am this pure witnessing, or whatever words you can use. So once you see it for yourself, then you lose your reliance on labels. You will just use some words to be able to point to something, but you know the truth cannot be spoken. So when you ask yourself, who am I? What this is very good you bring this up, because what most people are doing is waiting for the mind to give an answer to who am I. And the mind will say, okay, you are now body, you are now God, you are now awareness. This answer is completely worthless. Whatever the label might be, the fanciest label is completely worthless. It has to be that when you ask yourself, who am I? You're just checking, you're looking, you're not thinking, you're looking. Thinking can still happen, but you're letting go of the thinking. You're only looking, who am I? You're not waiting for a mind to give the answer, just to check. It's like I say, does the sun come from the east or the west? There are two approaches. The intellectuals will sit and ponder. Okay, when I wake up, then my shadow is in this direction. Before the house is on this. So you come to an inference about which way the sun is coming. Okay? But the simple one, you just go next morning and check. So it is not waiting for a label, not waiting for any presumption, inferences, deductions, none of this. You're just checking. When you check who am I, then the mind could be saying anything, it doesn't matter. You're just checking. You see, so if you can just check, then this entire seeming journey, you will see was not a journey at all. I was always this. The only trouble is this mind comes up with answers, and which we must not believe. What I'm saying very simply is that this mind is coming up with more and more concept. If you replace the concept I am a person with the new concept I am God, even that will not help. It is not to be taken as a concept. You have to just check for yourself who you are without going with any of the mind's answers. That's what I'm saying. It can happen sometimes that in satsang when you come, then some speaking is happening, but the mind is also saying, but something, and seems to be distracting. It's okay. It'll settle. You're only here today, or? Okay, I have some questions also. But first, actually, what I wanted was, Marit had created this chart. Did all of you see it? She had made this beautiful chart which we can share here. Let me just load it on my Facebook. There it is. So let me see if I can share my screen. So I requested Marit to take us through this chart, which seemed very beautiful. So she can share what, she can unmute her mic and share with us. You don't hear her, no?
No.
You can ask.
I don't hear you.
She's not saying anything.
So just unmute her.
But like this chart, there are hundreds of other charts throughout in the scriptures, in the libraries. It is so important understanding these ones.
But it's very good because it's just like a program you made. It helps to clarify something.
Was just point
Difference. You see there?
Yeah, she wrote I unmuted.
Yeah.
But we can't hear you still.
She's speaking, but the audio is not coming.
I don't know if she's speaking. Yeah. She's speaking, but we can't hear.
Maybe tomorrow. We couldn't hear you, my dear. Maybe you want to try again tomorrow, or? No, we can't hear you. I can see your lips are moving, but not audio is not. It's okay. Tomorrow we can. Hmm.
Just wanted to share that when I was in London, like listening to Satsang, there was always this kind of a conversation going on. There's Satsang going on.
Yeah.
But since I got here, especially after starting this, like, I just feel spaced out. Like I don't understand yesterday it felt like I don't even understand what they're asking. Like I don't even understand the question.
So what am I doing here?
No, but it was the feeling like, oh, if I can't, because couple, he sent me this. He listened to meditation.
Yeah.
You know, I just 2 seconds of it. It's just spaced out. And just, I don't know. It feels like I'm not really here, like present. So the frustration is that, well, if I can't contemplate, how can I?
So let's keep it very simple. Are you aware now? Can check.
Feels like I'm answering.
You don't know whether you're aware?
Feels like I'm answering because now it feels like I'm answering because it's like
a test student. Yeah, that's the right answer.
Yeah.
Yes, but forget who asked this question. Forget you're in Satsang. Forget you heard the answer. Are you aware or not? You're not aware actually. Actually, you're not aware. Completely unaware. And what's happening?
No, actually, I'm aware that you're saying.
Yes, you're aware that I'm saying exactly. That's why I say that even if God comes in front of you and says you're not aware, can you believe it? So then, if you can check this, it is enough. The mind will say all kinds of things. Oh, this is what's happening to me. My mind is like this, and it seems like it's in a cloud, and I've lost it. All this is okay. Just you can see that you are aware. What else is there? But the way it can play is that it can seemingly say, but I can't do this now. I'm not in the right state, something. All this you must not believe. What's happening now?
So it's too much.
Yeah, it's saying all of this. It's too many words. It's too abstract. It's just words. The best way to leave Satsang. I'll tell you the best way to leave Satsang is believe a few thoughts about it. I won't see you for a long time.
In such a situation, should we be strict with the mind or compassionate?
Just let it be. Just let all thoughts come and go. You don't serve them tea.
The way you said dear friend, like if I start doing it, I think it will be disastrous.
Yeah. But I was saying dear friend to myself, which is being, as being itself, consciousness speaking to consciousness. As my master says, the mind is not your friend. Not yet.
But it's part of us.
Yes. We're so attached to it. So our hands have nails. Nails are also part of us. They come, but we cut them off after a point. And they start hurting us in our sleep. We're scratching ourselves when we find blood. So we are suffering through this mind, but we're saying, but it's part of me. The mind itself is saying, but it's part of me.
with that.
And for so many years, we've been so nice to the mind. Yes, yes, you're my friend. What should I do next? And it says, go left. Go left. All this, you feel. Where have we come?
Why is the mind there?
Play the game. To play the game, we said, no?
What's the hope?
Entertain. I said the answer sheepishly because I know how the response is. Of being itself. Who is here? Being itself is the phenomenal watcher of all that is phenomenal. There's no watching, phenomenal watching happening in the sleep state. The light of being comes on, the sense I am is here. Then all of this witnessing, this phenomenal witnessing is going on. See, but you are that which witnesses this entire play and the absence of it.
But isn't it very trippy, like somebody,
So good trip, no? This whole world is a trip.
like consciousness first puts us in this mess.
Not us, itself. There is no
Then
you.
in this mess, and then it's
Right.
like, what's the point? Like,
Yes. It's like you go for this movie, which turned out to be a complete trippy thing, maybe Anurag Kashyap or some movie. No, very trippy ride. And then you say, okay, now I've had enough of the movie, I'm stepping out. Why do you go? For entertainment.
But it is not general for the one whose nature is being consciousness based. Is it not content in itself? Why does it need some appearance to entertain for entertainment? Is it not content in itself?
No, obviously not.
I see that when this piece is realized, then this piece is beyond all.
Do you have to be discontented to entertain yourself?
but consciousness can't be so like,
Yes, yes.
data
Conscious cannot be so.
must be like so
So,
like doing so much time pass.
so if you have an unlimited amount of time, and you're all there is, what would you do with it?
Still do something purpose.
Like what? You're all there is. You're the Supreme Lord, which is all there is. Now tell me what purpose you can have.
Not confusing yourself and then bringing it.
Yes.
You put on this virtual reality headset and go for this 3D experience. There's nothing else to do.
But Master, it is for those who are means if someone can sit here and simply be blissful and ecstatic. It is not for those. It is for those who are in need of something to be happy, who need some appearance, some object to means make them happy or in a state of to get into that state. But the one which itself is whose nature is bliss. What does it need? What else does it need to have?
Yeah, so it doesn't need
It does
anything.
everything.
That's why, because it is not a need, that's why I say entertainment. Otherwise, I would say, oh, because there is a need for love, a need for evolution. The whole reason why I say it's a Leela, it's entertainment, is because there is no need behind
We keep giving this example of video game, but I'm the type who does not enjoy
it.
video
Yes.
games. I'm like, I'm the internet video game and I don't want to enjoy. It doesn't bring me happiness. So, like, it's the same thing, right? Like consciousness.
And I'm already happy without it.
Yeah, it's like,
I am already
it's
happy
like,
without video game. I am already happy without the appearance, without the world, without the form existing. Then why would the formless appear itself as a form?
Then who somebody else should come.
no,
No,
That should be the formula.
form. There should be only formless.
the purpose of it, I'm not able to.
Mhm.
It's so then the consciousness, the larger entity looks so like helpless.
Helpless?
Yeah, like it needs
No,
to
helpless would be
itself.
that if it needed something. See, the other definitions of why this purpose of this universe is what that it wanted to experience love. It wanted to transcend the false. Now, what are the others? That it is an evolution of consciousness to a higher plane. These are the other definitions. See? So, and other knows is that This is my favorite explanation. Because if I tell you that none of this has ever really happened, what will you say?
None of what has
All of this.
has never happened.
Yes.
Then it is quantum
Then
physics.
who is saying this that this does not happen?
Yes.
There must be someone to say that this does not happen.
Yes.
If there is
Nobody
someone
is
to
saying
say
that.
that this does not happen, it means it is happening.
None of this has ever happened. But if there's a feeling that it has happened, then my favorite explanation is entertainment. You can pick whatever favorite explanation. By our explanation, this appearance will not dissolve.
Yeah, exactly. As much as we say it won't dissolve. But then the whole purposelessness is making me very compassionate for the consciousness. Because it needs entertainment.
Actually, to discover the meaninglessness of this world will give you so much freedom.
Just right now, I'm just full of compassion.
You as what now? You as what?
I have gone for that God. It's beyond. Right now, it's like, see, again, the trip is happening.
To experience this trip without this phenomenal being, would you experience any of this, even compassion? The compassion is part of your entertainment. It's part of your package, part of your DVR package.
And the feeling then to get rid of the entertainment.
Why?
So it's like how masters want mooch.
Yeah.
That kind of feeling is also part of it.
Yes. The seeker identity is also part of your entertainment.
So should we get rid of that as
What? Of the entertainment or the seeker identity?
well? The need of no entertainment.
Whose need are we talking about? We said that all there is all there is. Huh? Now there is no time, there is no space. I cannot believe that anything has ever really happened. You see? But first you believe that something has happened, and now tell me why it happened. So I'll go with your request and say I'll believe that all of this has happened, but I cannot believe any other explanation other than entertainment.
That's what you believe.
Yes.
As this concept.
Yes, it's only a belief. It's only a belief.
For me, I'm not able to believe that it's only going to. Or maybe I feel
What is your favorite one among all of these, or
the
there's a purpose.
The religious one says that the purpose of this is the self wanted to know itself.
Without that, it didn't.
I think in I Am Dead also, Sal Maharaj wrote that.
You should not quote a great master, then it gives me great trouble.
But I myself don't know it.
So what did Maharaj do?
Sorry?
What did Maharaj say?
That the self needs time and space to know itself, something kind of that.
I do not believe that.
Something like of that. And there is an example of mirror, polishing the mirror in many Sufi poems, that one needs to polish the mirror in order to allow the God to reflect itself, something like that. And when
It's okay, that
when
appeals
this question
to,
was,
like I said, what is seen here is that none of this has happened. Now, if you want to play the game where you say, okay, it has happened, then my favorite one explanation is entertainment. Your favorite one can be this mirror thing. Your favorite one can be love, or whatever you like to be.
I feel like because consciousness couldn't take form, they've allowed us to take this physical body and experience at our cost.
Can I make a request to you? First, come to this truest understanding about who you are. Then we'll tackle this question together. Because otherwise, this itself will be a big distraction.
but there are people who have spent their entire life in order to search or to unravel the mystery of this question and who I am, but they couldn't find this answer. So why should I give up my life in order to search for this answer? I looked for a few times, but I couldn't find it. And I saw that there are many people who have wasted their entire life, but they couldn't find it. So why should
So
I
are
go
you
on?
reporting for them or for yourself or what's going on? You have not found the answer.
I cannot say with complete certainty that the way that Master says that my joy is untouched, whether the body is well or unwell. I am before the birth of this body, and I am before the death of this body. I cannot say.
And when you check, it's different than this.
When I read that, it's same.
We'll go one at a time. When you check, what is the difference that you see from what I report?
The fundamental difference is that the seeing is not always there.
The seeing is not there.
It's not always there.
The seeing is not always there.
Yes, when it is in front of the master, the face is that big.
No, the seeing of something is not there. The seeing itself is not there.
Seeing means
Awareness is not there.
what could I say? Mind does not understand it.
What is not there? The presence of the master is
spacious
not there.
presence.
That is also content.
What is it that is not content?
You, which is awareness itself. That's why I say that this question, am I aware now? It's the simplest way you can look at yourself. He was talking about mirror. It's the best mirror. Am I aware now? Reflecting that which is not phenomenal. Awareness aware of itself.
The I is the entire. What do you mean by
I, yes. Exactly. That's why I told you also first be clear about what you mean by I. Then all of this will seem a lot simpler.
When I read this, I'm not the body. Completely, that would remind myself.
Yes, but as long as it's only conceptual, then you'll need to remind yourself. When you check this for yourself, then no longer need for reminder. Once you saw that the sun comes from the east, do you need to remind yourself again and again? Once you see, just find, yes, find for yourself who am I. If you are real, you must be here now. Okay? So what is here now? Can you tell me what is here now? Without going with any concept, label, interpretation. Everyone is here. And you are aware of everyone. You are aware that everyone is here. Same way, you are aware of your body. Isn't it? Is the body aware of you? Check. How is the body aware of you? Is this what you see? It's not aware. You are aware of the body. You are aware of your thoughts. Thoughts are aware of you. You are aware of your feelings. Are these feelings aware of you? You are aware that you are here. You are present. Is this sense of presence aware of you? Presence is just there. You see? So this one which is aware of all of this, who is this one? Even presence you are aware of. Don't give it to the mind. You say presence is just here. Therefore, there must be something which is aware that presence is just here.
it's not coming.
Suppose I never heard the word consciousness. I don't know what it is.
Because I think it's the mind code.
Because it is trying to find the right answer. You see, you have to check.
That
Once you keep checking, this is the meaning of self-inquiry. To check, not to wait for mental answers. Just to see. I am aware of the world. I am aware of these internal objects of thoughts, feelings, emotions. Even the presence I am aware of it. Who am I? That is aware of all of this. If you stay with this contemplation, that is the contemplation.
something like be and go into the depth and lose all baggage.
Check first who you are, and then tell me how much baggage you have. Then we'll talk about the baggage later. There's something which wants to pull you out from this question. You're digging this well, which is coming to some water, saying maybe over there, let me find out the purpose of the world. Let me find out what will happen to my life if I discover the answer. All these are different wells. So let's keep digging this well. The mind will try to distract you and say maybe now you change direction, you go this, you go that. But if you can stay with this question, just with some openness, who am I? I'm here. I am aware of presence. I am aware of body. I am aware of world. Who am I? Who is this that is aware of all of this?
After this inquiry only takes us into this blank.
Who's aware of blank?
There is no one.
And yet you are.
There is no one to report that there is blank or something. If one comes out of it.
Yes, forget about the reporting. You say that there is blank. Who is aware of blank?
It can be very frustrating.
Yes, to the mind it can be very troublesome.
Also, when I'm sitting alone and when I ask myself, because I just know that then there is like, and actually no one is there. Like, I just know that 30 participating like that.
The one who knows that no one is here, who is that one? That is the question.
The one who
Knows that there is no one, who is this one?
and I don't know.
That's what we have to ask. That's what we are discovering.
But then how will I know if I'm sitting alone? Like, who's that one? Then I'm always getting an answer like that.
Who knows that there is no one?
That also I don't know.
That's what I know you don't know. That's what you have to contemplate. Because in this seeing, you will discover your true self. And you will drop the pretend idea of who I am.
I've tried.
Okay. Then if you've tried that, what I can tell you is I'll give you the answer. But you have to try and prove me wrong. I say that you are this awareness itself. You are not an entity.
Yeah, it's not like I feel that, but then it fades away. It doesn't stay. Like it's not like as if how I'm breathing. I don't have to think when I'm breathing.
Yes. This is even prior to that. You are aware irrespective of what you feel you are. Because you cannot stop being aware. Can you turn it off?
Stop being aware.
Yes.
I can't turn it off, but I'm also not aware. Like, it's not I'm in the now. Like how I said. My mind is
Don't worry about what is said. You're always aware. Even if you're aware of your mind, of your thoughts, just this awareness is always there. What you're talking about is attention going here and there, which is okay, which is not what we are concerned about at all.
I know that I am. consciousness. Yeah. So I have to remind myself that.
No, because if you have to remind yourself, means it is a concept. Once you know something, then you don't have to remind yourself.
So I know that maybe in theory, but in practice, it's not.
So therefore, when you check like this, I've given you the way to check. Say, I'm aware of the world, I'm aware of the body, I'm aware of sensations inside, I'm aware of thoughts, I'm aware of my own presence. Who am I? Who is this one that is aware of all of this? That's it.
Master, I couldn't find a witness of this plan. Means there is this nothing is only there is no witness of it.
And yet, when I ask you, are you aware now? What is the answer? You need to refer to the blank also to answer this question. So let's go through it together. You're asking yourself, am I aware now? Then what happens?
Answer is different when the eye is closed.
Okay, what is the answer difference?
When the eyes is open, it is like there is this awareness which is aware of everything, and it is like a continuous stream. But when the eye is closed, and when this question is asked, am I aware now, or what is it that is there? Then it is like deep sleep. Nothing is there.
So both the stream and the sleep, who is aware of that? You said very nicely that eyes are closed. It's different content. It's like deep sleep. Eyes are open, seems like something is flowing. You see? So my question is, who's aware of this sleep type content or flowing type content?
When I try to see that in that scene, there is no concern that who is it. It is only the concern of mind.
Yes, yes. So when you check, am I aware now? Are you checking for this awareness or checking for some content?
I'm checking that who is aware of the content.
Yes, exactly. So in your question, actually, already presumption is there that awareness is here, and you're saying who is aware, which is good. See? So you cannot answer no. Am I aware now? Already you're saying yes. And who is aware? You're already asking that. Then what do you see? You say who is aware now? Okay. So the question was, am I aware now? You say who is the one that is aware? That means awareness is here. See? Now you say awareness is here. Who is aware of this? Is it the same awareness, or is it a different awareness which is aware of this awareness?
The same.
It's the same awareness. And where are you in all of this?
Or maybe the awareness is also an imagination.
Yes, so that's why I keep asking if it's a visual, if it's a content, if you're seeing something, then
No, it is not visual, but in our spiritual practices, we have seen that mind can project many experiences.
yes. It's my job to weed through these experiences because many times you can get stuck in these experiences and say, I saw. You see? So that's why I keep asking. And you answer, am I aware now? And you answer, yes. How do you know? How did you confirm this? That's why I always check.
Because there is awareness.
Yes. There's awareness. Who's aware of this?
Just like the waves and melody. Conscious.
That is now your mind is painting pictures for you.
Then you ask
What do you see?
I am consciousness, but the same consciousness.
No, keep consciousness aside because that label will become trouble for you. So the question is simple, am I aware now? You said yes. And who is aware of this? No, now I'm asking this, so let's stay with this. You say I am aware. So this I is who? Who is this I?
I am aware. Is that consciousness?
What do you mean by consciousness? This is prior to consciousness also. The question is, am I aware now?
Am I aware in the sense, am I aware of
Not of anything, just aware. No? Who sees you are not aware? Are you aware that you are not aware?
now I'm aware that I'm aware?
You are aware that you are aware. Yes. So forget, that's okay. What you said is fine. But even to be able to say no, there's a presumption that there is something that is aware that I'm not aware. So awareness must be there. So awareness is here. Now, what is the difference between you and this awareness? We have 3 minutes before Satsang starts over there. What is Atma saying? May I come in? Come in where, my dear? Into the conversation?
I can?
Yes, yes.
Oh, namaste,
I was
Father.
wondering whether you meant come into the hangout or come in where.
No, I was asking.
We just have a couple of more minutes before the satsang starts over there. So you can share for a little bit.
Yes, I will try. Fast. But yes, but I don't know even what would I like to ask, because now any question seems stupid, silly. But still, these days, recently, I see like there is like a child here, very curious. I see myself like when I was child, the same energy. And this child, this aliveness, I don't know. It's I'm awareness, and there is only awareness, because I don't want even to speak about that. I have my thoughts comes, I have this feeling, one day I think one thing, and then later other day I do other thing. So I really don't understand this spontaneity. And I let it go, everything, because one day I'm sure of one thing, and maybe some hours later I do opposite. So I let go. I said I let go. It's not for me. But you know, it's like this curious asking inside or outside, I don't know. What's the point of all this? It's not a mind question, really not mind question, because it's just coming like, okay, and then what's the point of awareness? Do I go, is there some deepening in awareness? Is then, if now when I see that there is only awareness, then what's the point? You know, it's not I'm not sad. It's just out of joy I ask, and then what's the point of life? Is it now when I see, then what? You know, I go like this, just living like this, not planning nothing, and then if so, then what's the point?
Very good. You know, sometimes it can feel like when I say something like I'll say it's entertainment, it will feel like, oh, he just picked up out of his hat, he took an answer, and just he's saying like that. But there have been deep contemplations which have happened on these topics. Why like this? And I'm saying that if the presumption is that if any of this has happened, then the one which is most suitable explanation for this play, at least from what is seen here, is entertainment. Otherwise, we can rest in the answer that none of this has really happened. But it's very good that this contemplation is coming, because you can say, so what is this for? What is all of this for? And this question played here also. What is this for? What is the meaning of all of this? What is the purpose of all of this? And then you see that it's all one big Leela. You see, Leela. And there's no perfect translation for this word Leela, but the closest you can come to is entertainment. Just one big divine play. It's a divine play.
So that means we are here really. I saw this for so many times, and then you know I see, and that's okay, and then maybe I begin to think something, and then I forget. Not really forget, just I don't see clearly. There is no need always to see and to look at it and everything. But now it's more like it's really only for it's really Leela. You know, it's more conviction, not only just opening and seeing it's Leela, but really inside, my Lord, this life, is it really Leela? You know?
Yes. Very good. Thank you, my love. Thank you so much. Very good. Aparna, you want to say something for a few seconds before we leave?
No, Father. Yeah, see. It's a bit long. I think maybe tomorrow I'll come up and share.
Okay.
That's okay.
Tomorrow.
No problem. Thank you. Thank you.
Right. Thank you also very much for being in Satsang today. Sadguru Shri Mujiji ki Jai.
Jai.
Jay. Jay.
Jai.
Thank you, Ram. Thank you so much for moderating. We can turn the broadcast off now.